Having this month to celebrate Dr. Sunday's 53rd birthday, and it's really been an interesting time. Today is day 9 of the celebration, and I want you to please share this link and welcome your friends, welcome your loved ones, and let them know that we're here having some life transforming discussions and having a wonderful time celebrating the life of such a remarkable man who is Dr. Sunday Adelaja. And it's going to be going throughout this month. We've started since the 1st, so if you've not been with us, welcome. Those of you who have been with us, nice to have you back. And those of you who have not been with us, please go on YouTube to Dr. Sunday's page, which is, of course, Dr. Sunday by name, official, or Sunday Adelaja official, and you would see the videos that we've had for the past few days. We've had a new guest every single day, and each person has been dynamic. Each person has had unique experiences to share. And just in case you're wondering what this is about, Dr. Sunday decided to celebrate his birthday by celebrating those who have come into his life and who have had life-changing experiences due to their encounter with him. So every single day of this month, we're having new people who have come in contact with Dr. Sunday, who have enjoyed, either reading his books, listening to his messages, and they've had results in their lives. So we have them coming in to share the things that they've experienced and the new things they're doing and the things they even plan to do in the future. So that's what this whole program is about. And today, we're going to be talking to somebody all the way from Texas in the United States. And the title is Sponsoring Over 200 Orphans in Nigeria. Now, many of us know that there are orphans in Nigeria all over the place. Wherever you go to, the 36 states, every nook and cranny, every corner, north, south, east, and west. We've got kids who don't have parents, who are suffering. Many of them are homeless. Many of them are doing one menial thing or the other. Some of them have taken to gangs and things like that. But we're going to be talking to a unique individual who has taken it upon himself to help some of these young people. And today he's going to be talking about how he helps 200 of them. So please share this link with your friends and just share it on your platform, share it on the groups you belong to, on all your social media platforms, so that people can know that it's possible to make a difference. Those in the diaspora who are wondering, oh, look, Nigeria has this problem, has that problem. You're not, handicapped. You're not somebody who is helpless. There are things you can do. And the person we're going to be talking to today is going to tell you his story. It's such a unique one. You don't want to miss it. So stay with us and invite your friends. So without further ado, I would like to welcome our special guest today, all the way from Texas. Hello, Mr. Mathias Agbu. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for having me. It's always an honor to be on this platform. Especially this period that DSA is celebrating his birthday, and he chose to celebrate people that are connected to him, people that have learned from him. I mean, that is really who he is. I mean, it's a period for really him to celebrate his life, but he chose to celebrate others, and I really admire that about him. And it's really an honor for me to be here today, and want to use this opportunity also to wish him a great happy birthday. Thank you so much for being an example for us. Thank you for being a gift to the world, actually. Thank you.
Fantastic. Like very well said. Like you just said, he's always involved with people's lives, and he's so passionate about touching people, celebrating people, lifting people. He calls himself a ladder for people to climb, to get to where they want to be, to get to their destinations, to do whatever it is that they have their wish. So I'm happy that you were able to pick up on that and you've enjoyed it. So can you please tell us who you are? Please introduce yourself to us and tell us who you are and how you got to meet Pastor Sunday.
Oh, that's interesting. Yes, my name is Mathias Agbu. I'm actually from Wukari in Taraba State. Taraba is northeastern part of Nigeria.
Okay.
So I grew up mostly from that part of the country. I had my primary and secondary education in that part of the country, and also I had my first degree in Nigeria, which is in mechanical engineering at the Federal University of Technology, Minna. My parents, my dad was a trained pastor, actually, but he never pastored a church. So he was involved in church work, kind of, because he actually translated the Bible to our local language. That was really the work of ministry that he's involved in.
Wow.
So then after my first degree, and I had my NYSC in Nigeria, then I had opportunity to move to the United States. Then I also furthered my education, had a master's in mechanical engineering at the University of Texas here in Arlington. So since then, that's since 97 till now, I've been living and working in the US. I am married with 5 boys.
Wow.
Yeah, so in a nutshell, that's really my life. Now, how did I meet DSA? Well, it's
Sorry, before you go into DSA, let me just dig a little deeper into some of the things that you said. You said your dad was able to translate the Bible from English to your local dialect. Is that Hausa or some other language?
Our language is Jukun, so he's able to translate it to Jukun.
Brilliant. Yes. So he did that just on his own, day by day, just writing and going from page to page, or did he have a team of people?
No, he was the main translator, but he works together with there's this missionary organization that were sponsoring such activities.
Okay.
So he was the one that he was the main translator. So they trained him. His whole adult life really was on that assignment. And he died before the actual product was made public. But he completed the work, but never saw the final product. So I felt God placed him on this earth for that purpose. So, but he was able to accomplish it. So today, if you take the Bible in our local language, that was the product he left on earth.
What an amazing legacy to leave behind, because the entire Jukun people will now be grateful to him forever for taking that step and doing something so life-changing and transformational. So what impact did that have on you as a kid? Did that make you a religious kid? Did that make you a God-fearing kid? Or did that make you the opposite? Somebody who didn't want to have anything to do with church?
Yeah. The impact is huge because my dad was actually my hero, my model of Christianity, of what really it means to serve God. Because I saw love. I saw how he lived his life. He was more about people. Everything, growing up, I grew up in that environment where he was more about people. Our home was like everybody's house. My mom cooked, everybody. He has kids that are not even from our ethnic background. They're in our city to attend school, but he absorbed everybody. So I grew up in that kind of environment. I saw real love, and I saw also somebody that is passionate about something. He was so passionate about the work of the translation such that he abandoned opportunities that comes his way for him to have maybe travel abroad to get education and all those stuff, but he avoided all those things. He was focused on that, and he modeled that kind of life before us. Even though I'm one of the few that really have not that too much Pentecostal background.
Okay.
So we are more evangelical.
Okay.
So, and also I saw real, love for people from my parents. And I think that really formed my personality because, yes, we were going to church, but there was nothing extreme. Nothing extreme. And I saw love demonstrated. I saw how he cared for. I think maybe that's where I got that from. I don't know, but I really saw somebody that is passionate about helping people, being involved in community issues, never care about flamboyant life. We were not rich, we were not too poor, but we were just okay. And I remember we do devotion every day at home, but in our devotion, it wasn't more about reading the Bible and telling stories in the Bible, but my dad always bring out principles in the Bible and teach us about life. So, I'll tell a lot of my friends, I say, well, the way I was raised, really, my dad always talk about life, talk about friends, talk about life generally. And I do that to my kids today. So there was not too much push to be too religious, but the application of what the Bible teaches, that's really how I was groomed.
Okay. So when did you repent? Is it that you repented as a kid, or was it something that happened much later?
I became a Christian as when I was in secondary school, so I think I was still young. And also, fortunately, in terms of, because of my upbringing, right?
Yeah.
I think I have a good moral upbringing.
Okay.
So I can't tell you that the difference then was night and day, but I got to a point to actually give my life to Christ, to make that personal decision. But anybody that knows me growing up, I didn't have this crazy past that I can refer to and say, oh, I was this bad, now I'm this. No, I think that kind of environment that my parents created for me growing up makes it easy for me to just continue on that path. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Brilliant. So that means by the time you got to the US, you were already a Christian. You knew what it was that you wanted to do. You were focused, and there were no distractions whatsoever.
Yes. Of course, there are distractions. You always run into that. But
Okay.
but when I came to US, I mean, my university days, I was very, very focused. Anybody that knows Matthias knows that I'm a very focused kid. I mean, I don't do so many things that people do growing up. I was very focused. When I was in the university, the only place you see me is maybe the library. I didn't have many friends. Somehow, I think there's a disadvantage to that, right? Now I look back, I felt that I didn't have too much bonding in my university days.
Okay.
Because I was always by myself. I was very focused on my education. Of course, there were distractions here and there, but somehow I always knew the right thing to do. I was a very responsible person growing up, yes.
All right.
So that really, really helped me a lot. And so coming to the US, I was already very well grounded.
Okay.
And by nature, I'm someone, I started reading much more early in life. I always somebody that's always seeking for knowledge, trying to understand things.
Okay.
I'm a deep thinker. I think a lot. So when I see there's danger in something, I'm able to know very quickly and avoid it. So that's how really I didn't get into this religious bondage, if I can name it like that. Yeah, I've seen it. I know my limit. I always have my limit, but I read a lot. I mean, if you see my library then, you would think that I'm trying to become a pastor, but not really. I was trying to know. Trying to know. So that really helped me. I can say that.
That's great. So does that mean you didn't join a local church or a Nigerian-centered church when you got to Texas? So you didn't even go to church at all?
No, I did.
Okay.
I was attending a Baptist church in the US, but that was not a Nigerian church.
Okay.
So even before, when I got to it's interesting you say that, because when I got here, the first thing I said, no, I cannot come to the US and be only among the Nigerian people.
Wow.
Because what's the difference? As I'm here, I want to learn and see how these people think, how they behave. So most of my cycle really was mostly the locals, the Americans actually. I have visited Nigerian churches, but I've never been a part of a Nigerian church here.
Incredible. And I know that you've realized that that's different. You were not many doing that, right?
That's true. That's true. I mean, I challenge some people a lot. I say, all your cycle is all in Nigeria. How will you learn how things are done? I mean, so that was purposeful, because right from day one, when I stepped in here, I knew that even where I live, I don't want to live in a place that is dominated by just Africans. No, I relate with Africans and everything, but I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to understand how things work here. Because if I'm always around just my people, the mindset is the same. It doesn't matter where you live, it's the mindset. So I wanted to change the mindset. I want to learn how these people think and operate. It really helps me in many areas of life, even here.
Amazing. I hope many Nigerians in the diaspora, those especially who are young, who still have the chance to change some of these things, and even those who are not so young and are probably much older, would learn from your experience. Because what you just said is the key to being able to make an impact and to understand the way the systems work, so you can replicate them when you go back to your home And so you can
Yeah.
also build relationships that in the future would be able to yield fruit and help you, to build
Yeah.
a bridge between yourself
Yeah.
and the people who you're trying to reach, and even those who you've been with before. So I hope that
Yeah.
many of us who are listening will enjoy this. Please share this with your friends. Tell those who are your family members and loved ones. Tell them Joshua Matthias is online on DSS platform with Mathias Agbu from Texas, and we're inviting them to join us and understand, some of these principles of life. So please, back to your interesting story. So did you get married to a Nigerian or you got married to an American?
Actually, I got married to a Nigerian.
All
My
right. You
wife
couldn't escape
actually.
that one. All right.
No, I will not skip that. That's a very important aspect of my life that
Okay. So did you
that
meet her in
today.
Nigeria or in the US?
Actually, in Nigeria, we were dating before
Before
I
you
came to the
left.
US.
Okay, okay.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, you're really
So
focused because you didn't get to the US and get distracted. Many people who started dating in Nigeria or in their countries, when they got to the US, I'm sure you've met a lot of them who couldn't keep up.
yeah,
Fun.
actually, in fact, somebody took a bet on me when I came to
Ah,
the US. He said, I give you just 3 months. You're going to forget about whoever you have in Nigeria. I
whoa.
said, why? Why do you think so? I said, okay, we'll see. But I came in 1997. Then I actually went back 1998 and got married. So after a year, I went back to Nigeria. So we met while I was still in university,
All right.
and when I graduated, I came to the US. Then I went back a year after, and we got married. But she didn't join me right away. So got married 98. Then she joined me 2002.
Brilliant. So that means that you were able to keep your promise and you won that bet. Hope you're able to collect.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
Fantastic. All right. So fast forward
Yes.
and tell us what your experience was like with the church and how your spiritual life was like before you eventually met Pastor Sunday.
Okay. Like I said, I was not on the extreme side as far as church. I belong to a denomination, which I still belong to that denomination. Every time I'm in Nigeria, that's where I worship.
Okay.
So it was more on the conservative side.
All right.
But I exposed my mind to so many materials of popular uh, pastors and preachers. So I read a lot. So um, I'm kind of open. So I attend all kind of meetings. So I I think what helped me also was that my focus was in developing relationship with God. That was my key focus. And because of that, I was not carried away with the activities, if you can call it, or the show, or whatever about church or church meeting. For me, the relationship with God was primary for me. That was the main focus. And also being able to help people. I mean, these were the two pillars of my life, if I can call it, of my Christian faith. So as far as so I don't give more attachment to, oh, I belong to this church, or this is what we are doing in church, or that. Yes, I go, but that's really secondary for me. So developing a personal walk with God was very, very key. And I do that by personal discipline in terms of studying the word, having that personal time of prayer, solitude, um, and listening.
Solitude before you even met Pastor Sunday.
Yes,
Wow.
actually, I
That means
go
you really did a lot of reading.
not as much as he does it, though. I
Aha,
mean, he
okay.
does
But
one
in your
week
own way.
a month. Yeah, occasionally I do. I go on retreat. And it's always helpful to me when I do that. But I wish I do it more often. But yes, I knew of that concept uh, even growing up as a Christian. I think maybe the people that I've surrounded myself with, whereby I learn from them, and I'm being selective about my cycle. So all those I believe help my Christian growth. But I attribute it mostly to my personal work with God, and also through reading a lot. I read a lot. I mean, like I said, when you see my library, then you would think I was preparing to be a pastor, but I had no interest being a pastor because I know that's not my calling. But I really wanted to understand God. I want to know Him, and I want to know what He really cares about, because I don't want to be carried away by what people tell me or say or what people do. but that personal work with God, I think that was much more important to me. So that was my pursuit, and that's why I was reading every kind of material I come across. Of course, I read things that I didn't agree with, or sometimes there are things that I come across that I don't understand. I just leave it like that. So I don't even. Yes, yes. So those are kind of that's really my Christian journey, and even up till now, it's more about that deeper walk with God. And and when I come across Pastor Sunday, uh, I see a lot. I see a lot in him, and it connects with what I've been looking for. Somebody that is focused on what really matters to God. And so I read his materials too, and I listen to a lot of his messages actually.
Their own were able to build a relationship with God in a foreign country. Many people
Yeah,
easily got either distracted by religion, their work, and the
yeah,
societal pressures, that face
yeah.
you when you get to a new country. So you really did something that was quite unique. And I
Thank
believe
you.
that that's one of the reasons why you're able to find Pastor Sunday, because I feel
Yeah,
like most people who find Pastor Sunday are people who seek knowledge, who seek God, and who have the
yeah.
hunger for truth. And I can see that you're somebody like that. So tell us of your experience. How did you meet Pastor Sunday? Was it a book you ran into while you were shopping for one
Okay.
of the many books you read?
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know if I should backtrack to tell you a
Yeah.
little. Like,
Yeah, please go
um,
ahead.
I discovered my purpose in 2004,
Okay.
and 2004 I was asking God. I wanted to know what, because somehow I knew that concept early on, that I need to know what my purpose is. What exactly is my purpose? So I got into research and also praying, a prayer of inquiry, trying to understand, God, what exactly am I here on earth to do? I was already working as an engineer. I was okay, but there was something I know. I wanted to know exactly what it is that you have placed me on earth to do. Then I got an encounter with God whereby He revealed to me that you are supposed to help the helpless. Then it became clearer with time what that really means. So that is in 2004. Then in 2008, my wife and I had our 10-year wedding anniversary, and we decided to launch out our foundation in 2008. And we named it after my dad, which is Luka Agbu Memorial Foundation. And
Okay.
we started that we are going to sponsor orphans in the area of education, because in my life, when my dad passed away, I was in university, and I experienced abandonment. I experienced rejection, in the sense that people that were always around uh, us suddenly were nowhere to be found. So I was left with my mom, and I'm the first child of six from my parents. So, and you know how it is in Nigeria, as the oldest child, you kind of become like the dad of the house. You kind of take care of everybody. But I was still in a university. So that experience, I believe God allowed me to experience that for what He has helped me do at this point in my life.
Okay.
So that was when I experienced the life of being an orphan without a dad. And fortunately, it was I was already in my final year in the university. And final year, you have to do project. Now, I didn't have anybody to help me. So I went through that painful period for a year.
Wow.
Now, and then in 2008, we launched our foundation, and the focus of the foundation was to sponsor orphans in the areas of education. And the special emphasis were orphans that were not even in the orphanage, because that was my story, right? I was an orphan when my dad passed away. I was not in an orphanage, but a lot of times when you talk of orphans, people always think of orphanage, but there are so many orphans that are not being thought of, that they're living with maybe their mom or with their guardian. Because where I come from, you don't find orphanages, but there are a lot of orphans, and now these orphans are with relatives. And that was kind of my situation. So I was with my mom. So we started with 16 kids that we are going to help them with their education. So we launched the foundation in 2008. Sure.
When did you lose your mom? Because I remember you said she made food for people and they came around your house, they ate. So what happened
Oh
to
yeah.
your mom?
Okay. My dad died 1994. Now, my mom died, man, that's a good question. 2000 and I believe 2002.
Oh, okay. But how come your mom was
Yes.
still alive and you called yourself an orphan?
Well, that's a good question because I lost my dad, who was the main breadwinner of my
Aha,
family,
okay, okay.
and there are so many people in that camp. My mom didn't have anything.
Oh, okay. So it was
So
almost like
my dad.
she wasn't there.
Yes, so orphan is not necessarily a kid that lost both parents, and it's very important people know that because being in this work in the area of my foundation, I can tell you a lot of people when you talk of orphans, I can tell you how many people have always asked, "Oh, do you have an orphanage?" But the problem is there's so many kids that are needing help even though they are not like in an orphanage, because even the relatives that are taking care of them, they are also struggling. Life is difficult for them, but it's just the right thing to do to absorb the children of your relative that have
Relative.
passed away. So
Okay.
they do that a lot. Now, that's really why I regarded myself as an orphan then, because the main breadwinner was gone. Then
You had to
when my
fend for
mom died,
yourself and then even fend for your younger ones and even your mom.
exactly,
So you became the
exactly.
breadwinner de facto.
Yeah, and I was not working, so it was tough. So that was my experience. It's a little experience, and it was not too bad compared to some of the experiences I have come across
All right.
doing this work of my foundation.
Okay.
So so that little experience kind of exposed me to how somebody that has lost his parent feels, in the sense that, especially in the area of rejection or abandonment by relatives or friends of your parents. Now you start wondering, what have you done wrong? I mean, this is the time you need help from people, but somehow nobody considers you. So,
Wow.
but somehow God helped me through that period in my life. But I think that gives me the connection with orphans in that situation.
Because you can
So
understand what they are going through due to your own
exactly,
experience.
exactly, exactly.
Incredible.
And so our focus in the foundation is mostly in the area of education. We say, okay, at least we need to help with education, because
Right.
if the relative is taking care of the shelter, the food, whatever basic needs of the orphan, we want to come in the area of education and take off that burden from the relative that has at least done well by absorbing these kids that have lost their parents.
All right.
So that's really our core focus in the foundation. So when we started, like I said, we started with 16 kids.
Okay.
It starts growing. That's like we started in 2008.
So
Start grow.
that means you didn't have to build a special orphanage for them. You found
No,
people who were already situated in homes and then started sponsoring their education.
exactly. And
Amazing.
the kids that we actually go to, there's a local orphanage
Okay.
that
Okay.
we actually identify some kids there that we took over their education, but they are living in an orphanage.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, our intervention is mostly with their education. I
All
mean,
right.
sometimes we provided care packages, but our main focus is in the area of education,
All right.
because we want them to at least get that basic education.
Yes,
And
because that's freedom, that's independence. The only way they can make
yes,
something of themselves and not be reduced
absolutely.
to just staying at home and dependent on, family members forever is to be able to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
self-reliant, get an education, get a job,
yeah,
and move out. Brilliant.
yeah. Because without education, they become vulnerable to all kind of
Abuse,
vices,
yeah,
vices.
advices. Yeah,
Exactly.
you're correct. So you started with
Yeah.
16 in 2000 and
2000,
hello? Can you hear
yeah,
me?
in 2008, we started with
Aha, in
16.
2008. Okay.
Yes. So now it has grown tremendously. So I started that to just give you a timeline
Okay.
as to when I met DSA and how I met DSA. So we started with 16 in 2008, and it's been an interesting journey. It's going very well, growing in scope, growing, I mean, in the number of lives that we're able to touch. Then in 2017, that was when I met DSA. Now, how did I meet DSA? Because during the course of my life in this foundation, God was, when God gives you a vision, right? It's always going to be bigger than the first time you get a grasp of it, because it gets clearer as you progress in that vision. And so by 2017, I was in a different place in my life in terms of vision. God, God began to show me more things that I can do or need to get involved in, which has to do with community youth programs. I mean, like you said, you've been to the website. We do a lot of things in the area of youth and community empowerment. Now, in 2017, God specifically asked me to contact Dr. Sunday. Now, before that time, I have never listened to Pastor Sunday. I've heard of him. I've heard of this Nigerian pastor in Ukraine that has 99% white congregation. But I know I was not in ministry. I am not about pastoring any church. So there was no interest to even look into who that person is. I just, like I said, I was just focused on what I was doing. So there was no any interest to do that. But now, at that point in my life, God was showing me leadership role that I need to get involved in the area of leadership.
Okay.
Leadership, community transformation. And I could not understand what God was trying to tell me. So it impressed it in my spirit. You need to write, contact Pastor Sunday. All right. Then I asked somebody, I said, how do I contact this big man of God? It's not easy. How, if you write an email, how can you even reply? Right. So somehow I got the email address. Now, I didn't even Google to say, okay, maybe I'll find it online. I didn't do that. Somebody
it doesn't cross your mind.
No, it doesn't. So somebody just gave me the email address. So okay. I sent an email to him introducing myself. And I also told him exactly what God showed me. Right. And I'm just looking for counsel. What should I do? Then, surprisingly, he actually responded. I did that to fulfill all righteousness that, okay, it's off my chest. I have done it, but I was not really expecting a response, and especially a prompt response like that, because he doesn't know me, and this is somebody that's dealing with millions of people. So how could he even
have the time to respond to you, who he has never met and he doesn't know?
Yeah, I can imagine the volumes of email he received. So, I mean, I didn't expect a response, but the response was quick. And he actually gave me a guideline, but he said something. He said, he introduced me to his YouTube channel himself. Okay. And he said, go to my YouTube channel and listen to 200 of my messages. I said, oh my goodness, that's interesting. So I went there. I went to the YouTube channel. This was in August 2017. Okay. August. Now, I went to the YouTube channel and he gave me strict instruction, which he does all the time. He said, you should do it series by series. Don't just jump around. And I actually followed that. Then getting to the YouTube channel, I was blown away by the content that is in that channel. I would say, oh my goodness, where have I been all this while? I've never known that there's something so rich like that is in this YouTube. So I followed his guide by starting with series 1. So I was able to achieve the goal. I mean, I have listened to more than 200 already, far more than that. But I was diligent when he told me that. And when I did that, I knew exactly why he wanted me to do that. Now, this was August. Then in November of that same year, I decided to go to Ukraine for HMT. All right. That is really, that was my first exposure to him was in August. Now in November, I was already
on your way to Ukraine.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes. I just said, no. I need to be I need to come for this HNT because I found something that, wow, this is what I've been looking for. So it's like I was already on a journey and I needed clarity on focus and what I need to do. Then meeting Pastor Sunday is like, okay, this is the person that really gives you a clearer direction, clearer guide, and you kind of know exactly what you need to do. So that has really been my story. And since then, it's been a wonderful experience with Pastor Sunday.
Amazing.
Really,
Can I ask you, what are let me take you back to your orphanage where you started. Is there an age limit for the kids? Or is just as long as you're within the university and nursery age group?
No, actually, there's no age limit. Most of the kids we started with, they were in secondary schools. Because, in Nigeria, I mean, primary education is free, right? So, so there's no issue there as far as orphans going to school. But
you say it's free you mean in your state it's free to go to primary school?
The public primary schools are free, yeah.
Ah, okay. I'm hearing that for the first time.
Yeah. Public primary schools are free.
All over Nigeria, right?
I think so. I would think so. Public primary schools should be free, except private ones.
Okay.
Okay. But now, the whole thing was about the foundation vision. It's not just sponsoring orphans in school.
Okay.
I mean, we have this tag that slogans, they're orphans today, leaders tomorrow. So our whole mission is not just, okay, you are giving money to a kid to go to school, but we're interested in their wholeness. It's the full package. So we enroll you into our foundation, our scholarship program, and we keep you with us all through your education. So some of them started from secondary school, and today we have graduates.
Okay.
I mean, we have 2 graduates with first-class degree. One of them is working with NMPC right now. Brilliant. Another one is a lecturer at ABA University. These were all product of the foundation, and many others that are in different sectors in the society. So we absorbed you into our program. Then, because you are part of our program, we also do other programs like we call it life skills workshop. You are required to come to our office and attend a seminar that is done over the weekend. So we are interested in kind of giving you more than just the money. We want to see that you succeed. So we want to see that we are not just giving you money to go to school, but we're interested in you becoming a leader that tomorrow you're going to impact the society. So that is really the vision. And now we have over 200 orphans that have gone through our foundation. Some are still there, some have graduated, some are working. But now we look back and say, well, we are not getting the kind of result we want because we want to be in total control of their education and
their personality formation,
their personality,
their character,
exactly.
Their outlook on life, their worldview.
Thank you. That's exactly. So now, what we're doing now, our next project is to start a school. We felt like if we have our own private school,
you can control the curriculum and control the environment.
Absolutely. In fact, just this week, my wife just sent me the information. Just this week, we've been able to secure a plot of land for the school.
Wow.
So we want to build a school. And now in that school, that's where morals, values formation, character formation. So we want to be responsible for all that. So by the time we graduate them, they are ready to do something in the society.
So is it a high school or it's a primary school to high school?
Primary and secondary.
Oh, primary, secondary. All right. So by the time they go through that, by the time they get to university, you can have intermittent trainings here and there, but the core would have been formed like was the case with you and your dad.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Because we found out that most of them, some of them, they'll finish the secondary school, they are not able to even further. And now, so if we are responsible for the quality of, because public education in Nigeria is really nothing much to write home about. So, but now if we are, so I see it like a private school for the poor or private school for orphans. Now we are going to compete with the private school in terms of content, the quality of the education that these kids are going to be exposed to, because a normal kid has options, right?
Yeah.
The parent can put you in a private school if the public school is not functioning well for the kid.
True.
But now, a kid that has no parent doesn't have that luxury. They don't have that option. So the only option for them is to go to public school. So now, if we can give a quality private quality education in a private setting, we can actually help these kids, because a lot of them have huge potential. There's this kid that was in a public school. He lost his parents already. He was in a public school, but he has passion to do science. And we decided to move him away from that public school and put him in a private school. And today he's in a university, really pursuing the education he wanted. So cases like that, huge potential, but that potential would have just gone through the drain because there's nobody to support that. So our vision now is actually meeting Pastor Sunday has made me to be able to think very, very big in terms of vision, because initially my wife and I were just saying, well, we'll just do our part, help these orphans with their education, no need to scale it up, just as the Lord bless us, we bless others. We were not thinking, but when I met Pastor Sunday, I remember at that HMT in Ukraine, so I was sharing my vision. I said my vision is to help 1,000 orphans in Taraba State. Then he really stretched it. He said, no, you need to think about rescuing, I can't remember the number. I think 10 million orphans in Africa. I mean, he made it so, I said, oh my goodness, I was not even thinking about my state, but he stretched my thinking that, wow, why not? Why can't I think like that? So that's why I know that eventually we'll have our own university too, but we have to start somewhere. Brilliant. So that's really what we have done and what we're doing now.
Outstanding. What you've done is really remarkable, because not many people are helping orphanages at such a consistent, rate. And then not many people are interested in the character development aspect. And then not many people are interested in really helping them to integrate into society, to make sure that, the problem of being alone and, being an outcast, having that stigma of having nobody and things like that have been taken care of. So God is really using you to, fill in a very huge gap. And that's why I like the fact that Pastor Sunday said 10 million. Because what you've done in Taraba, by the time you perfect this model, you can replicate it all across the continent. And at the rate at which our continent is growing, 10 million might even be a little number when it's all said and done, because there are lots of kids whose parents every day, unfortunately get lost and they are hopeless. They have no one to take care of them. Some of them don't even have relatives. Like currently in my house now, we have somebody similar to what you're talking about. She's a cousin, but she lost her parents, and we had to take her in and things like that. So it's such a brilliant project. So what are some of the and then you talked about Pastor Sunday, meeting Pastor Sunday, and how he blew the vision open. So I wanted to ask a question about that. When you started talking to him, did it also help the strategy aspect of it?
Well, this is how I see meeting Pastor Sunday. For me, a lot of questions that I have, somehow I find it in his videos somewhere.
Okay.
so I am not the type that every time I'm trying to email him, before I can email him, that means I've done my homework in terms of, because I felt that the YouTube channel of Dr. Sunday has, I don't want to use
like an encyclopedia.
Exactly, that's how I call it. It's an encyclopedia whereby you can find answers to whatever it is, because he is multi-dimensional. It's like every area of life, he has covered it. So for me to ask him for strategy, that means I didn't take the time to watch his teaching on creating a system or how to resolve every problem in life. Meanwhile, they are there. So I take the time to go through what he has already offered. So through that, I'm able to develop strategy. A lot of answers are there. So and every time I listen to Pastor Sunday, I look for ideas, and I always get ideas. In the foundation, because meeting Pastor Sunday has helped me to broaden the vision, whereby remember I told you I sent in an email regarding what God is showing me in the area of leadership.
True.
So he gave me his advice. Now, I've been learning a lot from him, even in the area of leadership, in the area of national transformation, because that's my passion. My passion is to be able to transform at least my community, because I come from a place that is, we had a lot of community conflict where I come from, and I am determined that I want to play a major role in changing that society. So through the foundation, we've been able to do so many interventions, so many programs in the community to kind of bring people together and also to transform the society. We started this youth program called Youth on Purpose. It's also an aspect of the foundation that we did. So what we did was that we identify young people. We actually call, if you have a vision that you want to pursue, but you need somebody to give you support, write your vision statement, tell us how you want to do it, but it has to be connected to our society, our community. So people send in their plan. So we're able to take about, I can't remember, about 12 to 15 of them. Basically identify a problem in the society, then we're going to work with you to solve that
solution to it.
Yes. Yes, and that was very effective because we call it Youth on Purpose. So it's more about, so giving them the opportunity to actually solve problems themselves. But now we're giving them the financial resources. We're giving them the knowledge on how to go about executing such project. So that's kind of, and also
how that means you've even gone beyond 200 orphans. That means you're now doing so many other sister projects.
Yeah, these other things were not orphans related. That the foundation, the foundation is, our core focus is orphans, but man, we have done so many things outside. We do a lot of things in the community in terms of community and youth empowerment.
Amazing. Yeah. So you keep talking about these trainings. Are you the one holding them over there in Taraba, or have you trained some other people who are now training and helping all of these young people over there?
Yeah, there was a time I was in Nigeria, I think between 2012 to 2016. So about 4 years I was in Nigeria. So I was on work assignment. Now I had the opportunity to be able to travel down. So I was personally involved in that. But I do a lot of mentoring. I kind of equip most people. I mean, currently I am mentoring over 50 youth. We started since January. So every day I provide video content. Now, most of the things I learned from DSA, I am duplicating it in other people's too. So, and that's how I really, so I whatever I learned there, whatever I have learned from DSA and other people, I try to break it down to them. So I've been mentoring over 50 young people. And the goal is that at the end of the year, I will challenge them to go and find other kids and mentor them as well. So yeah, that's most of the programs in the foundation has always been people I consider like my mentee, people that believed in my vision and they want to learn from me. And those are the ones that I give them that opportunity to become a leader. And that is really how you develop leaders. I give them opportunity. I'm always around them to guide them, and they're able to execute it so well. And they take pride in being able to do something like that. So it's just like DA says, make his platform available for people to showcase their gifts, like Kingdom Fruits. So that's kind of what we do with that. It's like, okay, you have a passion to rid the community of too much drug, but you don't even know how to go about it. So we say, okay, I have a platform already, and I will even give you the financial resources that is needed, because it's not that much. I mean, we're talking about a community. So we give you that support. Now you are able to execute that program. That program is to you, you are the one that have done it, and we do it that way so that you feel, you take pride in the fact that you are able to do something you never thought you could do it. So that's kind of what we have done. Also in the area of community, because our area, we have had crisis, religious crisis between Christians and Muslims, which was very, very unfortunate. So, and I traveled to our community, and I found out that what can we do to be able to also do something in this area, because we felt it's not right. So we decided to launch a program called United for Peace Football Championship. And that was a huge success because, sport brings people together.
Yes, like
So
nothing
we
else,
sponsor,
especially in Nigeria.
yes, yes. So we sponsored that championship. We provided the jerseys, we provided funding for the teams. It was a very expensive project, but that was one event that actually harmonized the people together. People begin to relate, people begin to do things together in the community. So we've done it back to back like 2 times already. And we have done leadership conferences too. We organize a leadership conference. Again, it's about the mindset, trying to entrench new mindset to the young people. So those are some of the things that I've really been involved in. We've intervened in the area of IDPs. We have had IDPs because of the crisis. There are
What is
people that
IDP?
are internally displaced people.
Oh, okay.
So, mostly from crisis, right? People lost their homes, and so they stay in a camp, which we noticed that most of these people were sleeping on the floor,
Right.
and we felt that no, we need to do something. So my wife actually visited there and saw the condition of the people. So we decided to say no, it's not proper that people are sleeping on the floor like that. So we decided to we provided mattresses to over 50 families. They're able to use it in the ITP camp. So there's so many interventions that we are actually been involved in. But our core focus is actually the foundation. But we have with the orphans, but we have done so many things outside that aspect.
Incredible. What you're doing is so laudable. You're such an inspiration. And I hope that
Thank you.
those listening to us are learning and, getting ideas from what you're doing because you're in the diaspora. You're over there in Texas. You've been there for 20
Yeah.
years. You're an American
Yeah.
citizen and you're also a
Yeah.
Nigerian citizen. But you've been able to make so much an impact in your local community. You've been able to, set up programs, set up initiatives, set up
Yeah.
NGOs, help
Yeah.
the less privileged, even the
Yeah.
internally displaced people, like you just talked about, who suffered
Yeah.
from the riot. You've been able to make a difference. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is possible for you to make a difference in your country. It is possible to make a difference in your local community. You don't even have to think about the state or, you don't have to think of, oh, how do I go big? Start small. You started with just 16, 16 kids. Now it's over 200, and now we have many other organizations that are coming up and springing forth. And it will keep happening that way because already you've gotten the idea and you've seen the possibilities in the community. So there's no point stopping. Like you said, now you're mentoring 50 people from your community, right?
Yes.
And I'm sure those guys are going to mentor other people, and that will be a snowball effect, a ripple effect all around the community. Brilliant. And you talked about Pastor Sunday's YouTube channel. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have an encyclopedia that is free. As long as you have the internet, instead of wasting time on Facebook or watching movies or watching funny YouTube videos, you can go on Pastor Sunday's channel and you will see every playlist has been set apart for you already. You don't even have to look far. As soon as you go to the homepage, you see the playlist. They're all lined out for you, from Life is Predictable to the prayer series, to the strategic thinking series, to the money series, to the planning series. Everything has been laid out for you guys. So please go on his channel, join him. You can also go on his Facebook page, on his blog, sundayadelajablog.com, and you see those things. And if you want to check out the work that we're hearing about, just go to agbufoundation.org. That's agbufoundation.org, and you'll be able to see pictures of the things that our guest is telling us today. And you can even partner with them if you want to and learn of some of the things that they've experienced. Because now that he's done these things, I think you're now a veteran in helping people. And most people who want to help, I've met some people actually who say, I want to help some people, but I don't know how to go about it. They don't know how to begin. So you can contact him through his Facebook page, or you can contact him through his website, and he'll be able to put you through and make you understand how to begin and how to put the systems in place that will help you to make an impact in your community. So let's take it a step further. What are some of the books that you've read of DSA that you think would help other people to be able to do some of the things that you've done?
Yeah, so many things actually. Before I go into that, let me just comment a little bit about when you're addressing people in diaspora. As far as you have to do something, you have to start little, and that was really our story. We started little, and now you have to really have the passion for that, because if you don't, it's not sustainable. Uh, and when you start an NGO and right away you're looking for people to partner with you, we didn't want to be that way at all. So when we started, we didn't even think about asking people to come on head. But my goal was that, hey, we want our work to speak for us. So we want, by the time you see what we are doing in the lives of people, that should attract you to say, hey, how can we be part of what you're doing? So we started like that. Of course, we could have had much more impact than what we have been able to do, because we were poor. We didn't do well in terms of getting partnership, because everything you've seen is 99% of it is from our personal income. So whatever impact we have made is in proportion to our income, kind of. So just imagine we have this funding.
All right.
That means the scale of impact
Would have been
huge,
a lot
right?
more, maybe 10 times what it is now.
Exactly. So now that is really the part that coming to know Pastor Sunday has helped me in that area.
Okay.
Because sometimes the religious mindset that you say, well, God will bring the people that will support the vision.
Yeah, you're correct. That's exactly what we say. We say God will bring them.
Exactly. So I didn't even spend time to study and say, okay, how do I attract the right kind of people to support this vision? Listening to Pastor Sunday and learning from him, I found out that you have to do that work. You have to create a system or a way to get people to support it, because you cannot do it on your own. And that is true. So that is an area that we're still working on, but you have to be passionate about it. You want to do it whether there is help or no help. And that's what we have done.
All right.
So you can start from anywhere. And really, that's really, I never see that, okay, without support, we cannot continue. Yes, without support, we may not be able to have huge impact.
All right.
But it's very important that I need to make that clear.
Okay,
that
brilliant. And those who don't have the time, or probably don't have as much passion as you have, they can just contribute to what you're doing and help to fund the movement. Am I correct?
Exactly.
And if possible, when you have need for materials, if they have that, they can also send them across, correct?
Yes. Actually, there's a lady in this platform, on the DSA platform, that actually contacted me before when I was on this platform.
Okay.
And she said, well, I have goods that I want to give to orphans. I said, well, unfortunately, we really don't have orphanage, but there's an orphanage that we also help the kids there with their education.
All right.
So through our platform, we can channel whatever gift you have
to the appropriate people.
Yes, and we're able to do that. So such things can be done, absolutely.
Okay, fantastic.
But like now we are launching into starting a school, right?
Okay.
So now that's another area that definitely need help in that area once we have the school running. I mean, there are so many opportunities to help. If you can't do it yourself, there are people already doing it. You just need to be part of it. Now, to get to your question as far as
Let me just chip in something about the marketing that you talked about. When Pastor Sunday was talking about, or when you hear about the 99% of white people and 25,000 largest church in Europe, we are, with our religious mentality, we think God just brought them. It was all prayer. Until one day at the HMT, Pastor Sunday just started talking about, just off the cuff, he started talking about how he was able to attract people. And that was when he started talking about marketing. And I realized that a lot of marketing and a lot of advertising and a lot of things were done on the inside to attract people to the church that I didn't even know about. And it was not, to him, handing out flyers is not evangelism. To him, handing out flyers is nothing, because he said you can't calculate, that's not something you can predict. You can go on the street and give 100 flyers to 100 people, and maybe only one person will respond, or nobody will respond at all. So he started talking about how to strategically go into an area, map it out, and begin to go from home to home based on when they're at home, when you're sure that they're not at work. And I was so astonished by that, because I had not thought about it when it comes to the spiritual aspect. And then he started bringing in the marketing of the likes of Mercedes, and he said, look, these guys are big companies. People buy their cars not because they are praying about it, or there's some prophet somewhere telling them that God is going to do it, but because they're very strategic in their approach to how it's done. So that just opened my mind and made me realize that whatever we want to do, we have to learn and then be strategic and purposeful in the way we go about it, instead of just hoping and praying about it. So when you talked about how God helped you to, or how Pastor Sunday helped you to open your eyes and not just believe that God would do it, I just remember that story, and I said, most Christians don't understand that there's this aspect to things. We just always want to hand it over to God instead of studying and understanding how it works, so we can attract what it is that we need.
It's very true. And most people are in that category, to be honest with you. I was in that category. I said, well, let's keep doing, and God will bring the people. I mean, it is God's vision. So he will bring the resources, not knowing that I have a part to play in that. And also, my personality, we have always been on the giving side, right? So as a person, to be honest with you, it's so difficult for me to ask for help. It's not pride, but just my nature to ask you. Yeah, to ask you, hey, can you donate or support? It's so difficult, but I am working on that. We're
But
trying to
hope you have
grow
a
it to
donate button
overcome
on
that.
your website, though.
Yeah, there is a button in the website. That's correct. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
But
not
now
that
you
God
have to.
doesn't bring people. God
It
does,
does.
but we have to be able to be more intentional in the way we do
Yes.
things, instead of just leaving it up to miracles. These are things that
Yes.
we can control, so why not do it?
Yes.
The life is predictable. I'm sure you saw that series. So when you can predict something, it makes you to be a lot more organized in your approach to life,
Yes.
and it makes you to be a lot more purposeful, and you have better results.
Yes. And in fact, Pastor Sunday addressed this area. I've read the book briefly, but I know it's a book that I need to spend time to read it. He has a book on how to find money for your calling. So he has laid out everything there already. So I think that's why I said he's a bank of answers. I mean, you can find answers to whatever it is you're looking for.
Brilliant. So,
So
ladies and gentlemen, he just mentioned the book "Life is Predictable." How to find money to finance your projects. So please go on Amazon, go on dsabooks.com. He's going to be talking about some more books. All of these books can be found on Amazon.com or dsabooks.com, especially for those of you who are in Africa, West Africa, or Nigeria. dsabooks.com can help deliver the hard copy of these books to your very doorstep. I don't know what the logistics will look like now that there's a lockdown, but you can count on them to be able to give you the books and help you direct you to the closest bookshop where you can get it. Those of you who are on Amazon, through Amazon Kindle, you can read most of these books for free once you subscribe to it. So these books are available online. At this time where we've got a lot of time on our hands, please use it to educate yourself, use it to build in yourself values, use it to discover your purpose like our guest today did, and immediately that happens, your life will change and you begin to make an impact. So you talked about how to find money for your dreams. Please go ahead, sir, and tell us more.
yeah, as far as the books, there's a way I spend a lot of time on the YouTube channels as well. So I have figured out the best way to get the most out of Dr. Sunday's content. So I always have the book with the series somehow, because let me tell you just my experience. I started with the series, the YouTube series, right? Since he said you should start there, and the more I go there, I see a lot of good uh, messages that I need to listen to. But I feel that if there's a series on faith, for instance, and a book on faith, I try to do the two together. Yeah. But as far as the books that actually marked my life, I've read so many of Pastor Sunday's books. I mean, I'm huge on Kindle, so I read a lot of my books on Kindle.
All right.
And also have some hard copies. But like the law of difference.
Okay.
The law of difference is huge. It's huge for me and it's actually, it teaches me, you read the law of difference together with, I believe, the love series, because the law of difference is about honoring people, in the
Their
yes,
differences.
their uniqueness. It teaches you how to see people, and it actually changed me in terms of how I see people. That every person is unique, and you don't have everything. So there's something that you don't have that somebody has it. Now, the only way that person's life can enrich you is when you actually honor that person. So if you look down on the person and feel that the person is nothing or he has nothing to add to you, whatever it is that he has in him that maybe you are missing, you cannot access it because of that. Yeah. So it, based on that, it really changed. I mean, you see people, everyone is a representative of God. Everyone has the image of God in him. Now, if you look at people from that perspective, you have to honor and value people. And now that's how these people can enrich you. So, and in the love series, it's talking about, you can't say you love God and not love people. So people is really the key thing here. So the law of the difference was one of the books that actually marked my life, and the essence and the value of life. This one is big for me as well, because the book actually bring out to you what really matters to God: the knowledge of God, righteousness, kindness, and justice for the poor, justice. So the key areas that matters to God. So those are God's priorities. So now, as a child of God and as a representative of God on earth, that should also be my priority. So it's basically, that is the essence of life. That is where life has significance, in the sense that you have to be kind to people. You have to pursue righteousness. You have to pursue the knowledge of God. And that book is always a book that I reference and I go back to. Another one is Regaining Your Lost Years. And this is one of the books that was used. We used it during the HMT. So I read through it during the HMT. That was my exposure to the concept of time conversion. You know, it's all about time conversion, because so many things that I'm discovering now, you will hear everybody say, "Oh, I wish I knew this 5 or 10 years ago," you know. But now there's something you can actually do about that, and this book addressed that in terms of maximizing your time. Now, you have to do that with focus, you have to do that with speed and tenacity. So that means every time that I have to maximize it by converting it into added values to me and also to other people. So it's no excuse that, oh, I wish I know this 10 years ago, but what are you going to do about it? Now, the book actually offers you guide on how to go about regaining your lost years. So it's really in our hand. Uh, yeah. Mm, yeah.
Time in such a way that you'll be able to properly utilize it. In fact, when I
Yeah.
met Pastor Sunday, I started asking myself what I was doing with 24 hours prior to that time, because suddenly I could see how much I could do in just a day, and
Yeah.
things like sleep became insignificant. Things like just chatting and wasting time, suddenly those
Yeah.
things became non-essential anymore. I became a lot more focused because suddenly there was a goal and I understood the value of time. So when you say that book changes your life, I can attest
Yeah.
to that as well. That it will help
Yeah.
you to do things maybe in a year that you couldn't do in the past 10 years, because there
Yeah.
will be a reorientation of your mind that will bring
Yeah.
about a change in your actions and the way you see things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so please go
and
ahead.
many others. Yeah, many others. And Nigeria and the leadership
Question.
question
All
is also
right.
another one because, I didn't tell you much about why I contacted DSA
Okay.
when I sent in an email of what God shows me in the area of leadership.
Okay.
I know God is calling me into leadership in Nigeria.
All
I
right.
know that. Now, I was not sure on how to go about that. So when I met Pastor Sunday, I'm still in that training to understand how to really go about. Last year I actually got involved in politics. I contested for Senate from our zone. I didn't make it, but I learned a lot in the process. So now, Nigeria and the leadership question gives you a very good understanding of the Nigerian situation, or not only Nigeria, African situation, because a lot of times we think our issue is leadership. The problem is leadership. That's the easiest answer to the Nigerian problem. Leadership is the problem. But when you
Everyone
read
blames
that
the
book,
leaders.
yes, when you read that book, you really understand that, wow, it's the values. The values is really where the issue, because the leaders are really a reflection of the society.
True.
And the leaders actually come from that same pot, and it's a corrupt pot. Now, how can, even though the leaders have a good intention, but the fact that majority of the people have a corrupt value system is very hard for that leader to be able to make headway.
A difference,
So,
yeah.
yeah, so values, the book I think is a guide for me that I always try to look at it and understand the issue. And getting involved in politics too actually gives me a better appreciation of the situation with the Nigerian people. They desire change, they want something different, but the values are not there in the sense that, in my experience, wherever I go, people really appreciate the vision. People saw the sincerity in me. People, because they have seen my work in the community as a private citizen. I've never had a government position, but I use my resources to be able to help people in the community. So they have seen that. But now, to be able to say, this is our choice, we're going to go with him, they lack that willpower to do that. And now a corrupt, yeah, the courage was not there. And now with money, they they think of just immediate thing. So it's an interesting experience. So
So were you willing to give up your job and move your entire family back to Nigeria if you had won?
Well, Senate, I didn't have to move my family. I didn't have to. I think I would have been able to do back and forth as far as at the immediate. I don't know. Eventually, maybe it will get to that, but I doubt, because my oldest son is starting college this year, and the other one is high school. It's just not the right time to move family.
Okay.
Yeah,
So did you run for the state senate or for, representing
for the
them?
national
The national.
assembly, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. So that must have
Yeah.
really been a teachable experience.
Oh, big time, big time. But I'm grateful for the experience. In fact, I'm grateful that I lost, because a lot of things that I'm learning now, I said, wow, it's really preparing me more. I've not given up. I don't know.
You will be back and stronger this time.
Yes. I may not run to 2023, but I have to be involved in the politics in one way or the other. I might support good candidates. I'm doing a lot in the area of education, reorientation of the mind of the people. So that's why, like the programs, even in my foundation, in the area of like the mentorship, for instance. Now, just imagine these young people under my leadership
tutelage.
training. Yes, after a year, they are beginning to have a different way of thinking, but it's going to take work. It's going to take a lot of work, yeah. But of course, because I know that is where God has called me. God has called me into leadership in Nigeria. I know that. Now, that's why every time I listen to Pastor Sunday, he has a lot of programs in this area as far as fixing Nigeria, African issue. There's so much ideas I get from him. And now you could see that he's producing substance for what he is planning to do
True.
in Nigeria. And that's the same way. So whatever I learned from him, I kind of customize it to my own locality and do it. So I get a lot of ideas from, but I started writing books. I have written about 4 books that address specific issues in our community. So, the Pastor Sunday has written a book about Nigeria and Africa. So I am doing it in relation to our community. So, um, so no, I'm not good with the local dialect that much, but
Okay.
most of the people I'm reaching are educated people. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right, brilliant. So that means that in the future we might see you back on the ballot running for office. But then I don't know how you're going to be able to keep your place in the US, because if you're going to be involved in Nigeria, they will take 110% of everything you've got.
Yeah, that's interesting you say that. I mean, when I got involved in politics that time, remember when between 2016 and 2019, I was not working. So I had the time and I seized the opportunity. I said, I have the time and I know I'm passionate in this area. I know based on meeting Pastor Sunday, what he told me, I know that it's going to take more than what I have done to be able to win and actually get in. But I had an opportunity to give it a shot and get the experience from it.
From the inside.
Yeah, so I had that time to do that. But now I have laid a very good foundation for my future political dream.
All right.
So whatever I have done is not waste, it's a foundation. Now, if I will have time, I think that time will present itself at the right time. I think that will happen. It's a matter of time. I don't know when, but even though I'm in diaspora, if you go to our community, you would think that I actually live there because my footprint is all over the place. I get involved in many things because the good thing is that I have a platform already. So I'm able to get involved in local issues. When nobody is speaking, I'm there doing it. Now, this year we organized a book club. That's another thing I never mentioned. We have a book club now. Now I'm getting young people to come together and read. We started with some of Pastor Sunday's book, so it's a diverse area of books that I select the books. I buy the books for the participant.
All right.
And that's another. So I've been getting involved in so many things that as if you're actually living there. So I don't think being in diaspora is a disadvantage at all. Actually, it's an advantage for me.
Oh yeah, it is, because it opens your eyes to what the first world is like, and it gives you kind of a model of what to replicate when you go back to our place, and it shows you how things work, and it makes you understand that whatever it is that you have, there is a lot more out there that you can be doing to,
Absolutely.
polish things up. In fact, it broadens your horizon. I can't even begin to, in fact, it would be a whole new segment for us to do the advantages of being in the diaspora, because those of us who have come out here, there is no way you would have been able to read about these things in a book. You have to be there to experience them and feel it and touch it for you to be able to understand what it's like. So brilliant. You've really opened the eyes of a lot of people today to see that, look, there are resources out there for people to use to transform themselves into champions, into heroes. And a lot of people might look at you and say, oh, wow, it's because he has a good job, or it's because he has a passion for it. But at the end of the day, seek and ye shall find. The world is your oyster, like they say. Whatever it is that you want to accomplish, if you seek hard enough, you will find it. Like you said, you wrote to Pastor Sunday, you didn't expect him to respond, but he did. He came to Ukraine, he came for the History Makers training, and that was how everything changed. So ladies and gentlemen, I think that History Makers training is on YouTube. I think that series is there on YouTube. So those of you who want to enjoy the same thing that he did, even if you might not feel, like you're here, but you can learn the lessons from DSA's YouTube channel. So please go ahead. What else do you want to tell us?
Now, as far as I just want to share my experience actually on this journey with DSA. There's a reason why he wants you to listen to 200 of his messages. Now, if you do that, you will really understand Pastor Sunday, because if you only listen to one here, there, You can't get it. And
That's where people tend to insult Pastor Sunday the most because they only see 15 minutes or 20 minutes of a message and they think, oh,
yeah,
this guy's a heretic. This man hates the church. He's trying to
yeah,
destroy the pastors. So I hope they are
yeah.
listening to you now because if they follow your advice, I think they'll be better off.
I think also, you have to be hungry for truth or for knowledge to be patient and go through that process. I mean, you know what it means to sit down for 3 hours to watch a video. I mean, it's easy to listen to it. You're driving, you're doing other things, but to sit down and actually watch a 3 hour video with full attention, it takes a lot.
Yeah, it takes
Now,
a lot of personal
now,
discipline.
absolutely, absolutely. But now you have to have such an attitude to learning to be able to go through that. Now, if you're not patient enough, you might give up. Maybe this Pastor Sunday has his style. Maybe it's not the
True,
style you're used to.
true.
So a lot of times you listen to a video, after 5 minutes you just cut off because you don't just like the presentation style. Now that you will lose out because this is why he said you need to listen to 200 of my messages before you even start talking to me or doing anything. And I think there's so much truth to that. And I encourage everyone, if you haven't done that, do it. He is the one that created the platform and he put those messages in a series. There's a reason for that. I believe everything Pastor Sunday does, there's a reason for it.
True.
I mean, the man is smart. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Oh, yeah, he's
So
very strategic.
yes. So sometimes you say, why is DSA doing it? But you have to think through it. He knows exactly what he's doing. So that's the first advice. Try and listen to all the, at least 200, like he said. But most importantly, if you are a disciple of DSA or you are somebody that follow DSA and you have not listened to the Truth series, I think you need to do that because I think I felt I have to go back again and do it and listen to it over again because he is a deep study on truth.
Yep.
And now when you do that, you really understand Pastor Sunday. I think without spending time to listen to the Truth series, you might be guessing on as far as what he's doing or why he's doing what he's doing. But you need to listen to the Truth series. It takes a lot of discipline because it's like over 45 messages. That's and long hours.
True.
So it takes a lot of discipline for you to listen. But the Truth series, I think, is very important.
Yeah, starting with the 5 levels of truth, it will begin to change the way you see the world, the way you see yourself, the way you see people, and you will begin to value truth. Really, you will know what it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a pleasure and such a privilege that connected to I see him as my coach. A mentor just speak to you, right? A coach trigger thinking in you, and for me, he trigger a lot of thoughts in me. And basically, anytime I listen to him, I'm able to think at a higher level. So it's not just absorbing what he is giving you, but he is causing me to think completely differently. So I really see him as a coach. And the YouTube channel has a lot of messages. Now, you don't go into, I want to listen to 500, 600. I keep going. No, I found out that, as I was doing that, there was a day, I believe in one of the Kingdom series message, and I heard Pastor Derek. He said he listened to the messages like 10, 12 times. I said, oh my God, what was I doing?
In fact, Pastor Sunday has this famous saying that if you've listened to a message only once, that you've not even heard it at all. That is, till you listen 2, 3, or 4 or more times, that's when you can really say you've done justice to a message.
Yes. So that's how you make the word become flesh in you. And I got that. So because of that, because it's overwhelming when you see the channel, it's so many good messages there. So you get confused. Where do I start on that? But now I see the YouTube channel like an encyclopedia, right? You go to where you need information for a particular area. So I see that if I'm in a season in my life where I'm trying to understand prayer, for instance, so I will go just spend time in the prayer series. Or if I'm trying to understand something about the kingdom, I just spend time there than trying to catch up with Pastor Sunday. I mean, I don't even follow live programs because I always go back. There's so many things that I'm still trying to catch up for. If I'm trying to follow live program, I will lose track of really what I'm trying to learn at per time. So you have to develop a system really to get maximum value from the content he has made available. Yeah, and I think that's what I want to say about that.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Those of you who feel like, in fact, what I would even advise many people to do is start from who am I? Because if you know who you are, it helps to give your life a direction, right? So yes. I feel like if you start from the Who Am I series, who am I, why am I here? It will help you to know who you are. It will make you to know what your passions are. Then it will help to direct your attention to what next part of the encyclopedia or the library you will go to. Maybe it will help you to go to the prayer series, or it will help you to go to the thinking series, or it will help you to go to the syncretism series, or the tithe and offering series, and all that stuff. So like he has advised, please go listen. These things are free. The things that Pastor Sunday is teaching, a lot of coaches in the world collect thousands of dollars every year, just to teach them to you. In fact, the personal development sphere right now that is huge, for example, in the US, and they call it the motivational speaking sphere, it's now $1 billion industry because people are constantly looking for motivation. They're looking for people to show them the way, but the answer is always on the inside of people. And like you said, when Pastor Sunday speaks, he helps you to think. He helps you to reflect. He helps you to really go into yourself and dig deep and come up with answers and results and solutions that have always been there, but you didn't know they were there. You just needed like a trigger or a map, to point you in the right direction, a compass kind of. So, ladies and gentlemen, just go to Sunday Adelaja on YouTube, and you will see all of these resources that our guest has enjoyed and is seeing results from, and you would be able to have results similar to what he has, even greater. And if you want to contact him, like I said, please go to his Facebook page, Mathias Agbu, or go to agbufoundation.org. And I just went to the website and I could see, sponsor a child. There's a button there that says sponsor a child. So if you click on it, you can make donations so that you can become part of sponsoring these orphans that we've discussed about today who need an education, who need a system for character development, values development. And since he has built the system, you can stand on his shoulders and you can get on his platform and, be able to touch the lives of a lot of kids who otherwise will have no other way or no other place to go to. So this has been such a wonderful time. Thank you very much for coming. And DSA's 53rd birthday celebration is such a unique one, right? And it has brought people like you around to really spur us on and tell us of things that we did not know existed. So please share with us any final words you have before we go for today.
Again, thank you so much, DSA, for giving us your life to learn from, to lean on. I mean, like you said, you're a ladder, and we're climbing on you to see ahead. I'm so much appreciative of your life, and I know that there's so much that you will do, and some of us are learning, are coming behind you, and we really want to appreciate you. My wife and I have been an ardent student of yours, and it is reflecting in our marriage, it's reflecting in our vision, and it's quite an honor, and I really appreciate the opportunity to be here and also discuss about my passion and my vision. Thank you so much for having me.
Your victories and your projects in the future. Thank you for coming to celebrate DSA on this 53rd birthday all the way from Texas. And we hope that, God will keep strengthening you. And I believe that with the system that you've put in place, you would only keep bearing more fruits as time goes on. So thank you very much. So ladies and gentlemen, that was Mathias Agbu all the way from Texas, sharing with us how he has touched the lives of hundreds of young people and how DSA has influenced all that he has done, and how his life, became a lot more productive after reading, after listening, and after encountering the person who we're here to celebrate this month. Please go to his website, sundayadelajablog.com. You will see blogs, you will see articles, you will see a lot of things that have been written, stories that will inspire you. Go to his YouTube channel. You can please subscribe, watch as many videos as you can. It's free. You can also join him on Facebook, and all of these platforms are there just so that you can be able to benefit from the wealth of knowledge and all of the things that he has been able to discover over the years that helps to make life meaningful, that helps to make people productive. All that he has lived his life for is to help people be better, to help people to do whatever it is that they were created for. So take advantage of all of these materials and please join them. Now, if you want to join his private mentorship program, please write to mentorship@sundayadelaja.com or .org, and you'll be able to, join his mentorship group. One of them is the Millionaires Mentorship Group, which will help you to be able to become a millionaire. He's raising millionaires. He has done it here with the Ukrainians. He raised over 200 millionaires in less than 3 years. And he's doing that with as many people from around the world who are willing to understand how to become millionaires. Now, very few people I've met don't want to be millionaires. If you want to be a millionaire, please join this Millionaires Club. Also, those of you who want to know who you are and you're struggling with your identity, you're struggling with your calling, your purpose in life, he also has a mentorship group that is specially, tailor-made for you, titled, Who Am I? Why Am I Here? Or Why Am I Alive? You also write in and we'll be able to help you to enroll in that program. And I can assure you that by the time you're done with that mentorship program, you would have answers to who you are, or you will be able to be on your way to becoming a millionaire. So ladies and gentlemen, there's also going to be a DSA app coming up very soon. Now, a lot of you have smartphones and you have several applications and you use them for several things, but DSA is going to be having an app called Vintage DSA coming up very soon. So stay tuned for that, and be sure that very soon that app will be up and running. You'll be able to download it onto your phone, and it will give you access to everything DSA, from his YouTube channel to his Facebook page to his blog to his itinerary to where he's going to be to whatever he's doing. It's going to be all things DSA packed into one application that will keep you updated, keep you informed and keep you, updated. So this is what we have for you today. Thank you for joining us. Today is just day 9 of 30. We have at least 20 more days to go. So I'm going to be here again with you tomorrow. We're going to have a new and interesting and dynamic guest with another unique story and life experience to share with you. Just, as we keep celebrating DSA. This person is somebody who has known DSA for a while, and their lives have been changed, and they're doing some unique and special things in the world. So please join us the same time tomorrow, 7 p.m. Kyiv time, wherever you are around the world. I just want you to know that you're part of this. We appreciate you. We welcome you. DSA appreciates the fact that you're celebrating his birthday with him, and you also can be here. You can share your testimonies. You can write us. You might not have the opportunity to be on air with us, but if you feel like DSA has impacted you in one way or the other, you can write in, and we'll be able to share your letters or your post with him, and I'm sure he'll really appreciate it at this time. So I'm Joshua Mathias coming to you from Kyiv. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be here again tomorrow. Make sure that you come and you join us, and you tell your friends to join us as well. Have a blessed day wherever you are, and keep being the best that God has created you to be. See you same time tomorrow. Goodbye.